Extra police around Union Square today, a visible shift following a slew of organized robberies in San Francisco on Friday.
Several high-end stores were hit, Louis Vuitton and Burberry to name a few. Similar incidents happened in Walnut Creek, Hayward, and San Jose over the weekend. These bold burglaries aren't necessarily new, but they do seem to be picking up in frequency.
Yeah, because we all want to build a better Bay Area. Our ABC 7 News insider Phil Matier spoke with San Francisco's police chief today to find out what's being done to prevent these attacks and what can be done going forward to try to make people feel safe. Phil is here with us now. What did the chief have to say?
Well, it was interesting. You know, these types of robberies are clearly highly organized, and they are increasingly dangerous. Some of them are armed. The chief says the answer is pretty simple. Get tougher on crime and add more police officers to the streets. But those are not necessarily popular ideas with politicians these days who have been advocating for less harsh sentences and fewer cops. Chief, you've been in law enforcement for going on how many years?
Going on 33.
Why is this happening now?
I think it's a combination of things. And number one, it's people who are getting away with it sometimes, and accountability is a part of it. Property crime is typically doesn't have consequences as other types of crimes.
Let's just call it what it is, theft.
Theft, robbery, property crime, you know, when there's not violence involved.
So there's a good chance if you go and you do these things, even if you're caught,
there's less consequences, that's for sure. I mean, that if you're in that business and that's what you do for a living, commit crimes, you're going to probably go toward the crimes that are less likely to have consequences, less likely to be caught, particularly when you have 40 or 50 people rush in at one time.
Why do you think this swarming thing is happening now? We've never seen it before this year.
Well, it makes it hard to respond. The tactics that we have seen. The groups are coming in large numbers. They overwhelm a store. Even some stores have security guards there. And when you have that many people coming at one time, it's a bum rush. You know, they get overwhelmed, and these things happen in a number of minutes.
But this time you were actually there. You had officers there. How did that happen?
Well, we were heavily deployed. You know, a couple of things. Number one, we've increased our deployment in Union Square. The other thing was because of the Kenosha verdicts, we didn't really know what to expect, so we were deployed in case something jumped off there. So our deployment strategies worked. We were able to get there quickly and arrest at least some of the people that committed these acts on Friday night.
Do you guys have like live cameras or anything like that to help you out? License plate readers?
Well, we can't. The SFPD cannot view live footage. City county ordinances. That is correct.
So if there's a camera perched up on Union Square that's showing live what's going on in a possible swarm, you can't watch it in real time like on a weekend night?
That is correct. We cannot.
Because of local laws?
That's correct. Right.
Whoa. Would that help if you had live cameras?
Oh, live cameras, yes. I mean, if we're able to as things are happening, have a situational awareness.
Have you asked for it to change?
Well, we have had many conversations about it.
And the result?
No results.
So no consequences, no live cameras to assist you. So how do you get your intelligence on what might be happening?
Well, we get it we can watch video footage after the fact. Definitely we do our due diligence with sources of information from the community at large. We network with other law enforcement agencies, so we get it however we can get it. And look, we just have to work with what we have.
Speaking of what you have, how many cops do you have? What's your staffing at these days?
We have just over 1,800 full-duty officers, right.
How many do you need?
Need about 2,200, so we're about 400 short.
So what does that mean?
Means we have to do a lot of overtime, and thankfully we have had some of our overtime budget restored. We have to fill the gaps, Phil. I mean, really, as you see in Union Square this weekend, we have a lot of folks working. A lot of that is overtime, but people feel safe. It makes it. You know, we had people come in Saturday night, we believe, and tried to do more of this type of activity, but we were there.
That was on Union Street and Chestnut Street?
Exactly.
Other places.
Exactly.
And it's other places in the Bay Area. Where does this stuff go? How are these groups organized and where does it go?
Online, fencers buy it, people buy it. I mean, look, if you buy a $1,000 bag for $100, you probably know it's stolen. But this stuff is going everywhere. Some of it's going overseas, and so it definitely is organized to a degree.
Are there penalties for doing that?
What I'd like to see is the fullest extent of the law exercised when the evidence is there.
So you want hard prosecutions?
Yes, I do. So look, I understand that there's a balance, and for the last decade, we've been trying to figure this out. We, the criminal justice system, the legislators, of the balance between the appropriate jail sentences and the appropriate consequences as opposed to the crime committed. I totally understand that and support that. However, when the evidence is there has to be some accountability. There has to be some accountability when people commit crimes, the evidence is there and they get caught.
Are these swarm thieves armed?
Some of them are. Friday night, 2 of the 8, we arrested 8, 2 of them were armed.
So this isn't just, this has the potential of getting violent and deadly.
Well, absolutely. I mean, you never know what you're going to walk into when these things happen.
And that possibility is being made even more real by another issue that law enforcement is facing all across the country, and that's the proliferation of cheap guns.
Right.
You can get them, and they're easy to get.
Ghost guns
Yeah.
and the rest. Any indication that what we saw this last weekend was the result of the Rittenhouse verdict?
Well, in some funny way, yes. What we saw was police action and responding really quick. Because when these verdicts come down, these controversial verdicts come down, oftentimes we've had demonstrations.
Sure.
So the police in this case prepped for a demonstration.
They were on guard anyway.
On guard for that.
Right.
And then this happened, and they were able to respond quickly. But sometimes they fear that if there is a demonstration, that becomes the distraction. And while they're dealing with the demonstration, the thieves are hitting. So they try to take advantage of the situation. In this case, it worked the other way.
One wonders if the people that stole this stuff had some sense that perhaps they might benefit from a distraction by
Yeah,
protest.
they do. I mean, that's what we've seen in the past. Yeah. It's not just a protest. If there's something happening, the last one we had one on election night.
Right.
Anytime there's a chance where people are preoccupied someplace else, it's a vulnerable target.
Right. Well, it was something to see this weekend. It was shocking.
And they're afraid that as the Christmas season progresses and people have lots of merchandise in their stores, that this might become more of a common occurrence.
Thank you, Phil. Great stuff as always. Good interview today. Well, on Midday Live today, we asked, will your Black Friday shopping plans change because of recent crime in the Bay Area? 61%, almost 2/3 voted definitely, and 11% voted possibly. But 28% say, hey, it's going to be business as usual for them. Remember, if you want to build a better Bay Area, go to abc7news.com/take action in order to find your ally.